is Webwatching, and in this video we're going to talk about the gamification of advertising. And who else better to talk to than Brian Wong. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Brian is the founder of Kiip, a completely new way of looking at advertising, and he has a resume that I mean, is super impressive. How old are you?
I'm 20.
He's 20. So Brian, you have created a very unique concept with Kiip. How do you think gamification is going to change advertising?
Well, what do people want when they've already engaged with something? You know, there's sort of like, I joke around like in high school physics class, it's like with every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? So why can't that apply to everything? Why can't I engage on digital and get something back?
Even for advertising, I mean, nobody likes advertising.
Nobody.
But you somehow were able to twist it a little bit, right?
And the way we do it too is just not to call it advertising, and also created the product from the ground up to not even think about the traditional notions of, some dude 30 years ago decided that an ad was a 30-second spot and a picture, right?
Yeah,
but really at the end of the day, what is the definition of advertising? It's about connecting a consumer and a brand. Mm-hmm. So to be able to do that successfully, you need to understand what a consumer is seeking, and these things change. There's always going to be different needs, and as we now have these mobile devices, guess what it's done for us? It's added one element to our lives that we've always craved, which is choice. So if there's choice in how we interact with media, why can't there be choice in how we interact with brands? Mm-hmm. And so advertising, as we've redefined it, and that's how I call it a rewards network, and we call it the moment, and we call it a engagement. It's not just about the impression or attention now. It's about how can I feel like the brand wants to give back to me? How can I feel like there's something in return? And so part of that is how we created this model of it being serendipitous. I could like hit level 10 like 1,000 times and get my like 10,000 gift cards. I'm like, no. What we want to do is you're already doing what you're already doing. We're about focusing on the organic behavior. There's nothing changing here. If you're already playing a game, awesome. Let's make sure that you're getting rewarded for doing what you're already doing. The last thing I want you to do is do something for the sake of a reward.
That makes sense. So can you give us some good examples, specific examples of how you could use this?
Yeah, so we have about 120 games now that are in our network. About 10 of those are in the top 100 in the App Store, so there's quite a bit of volume there. And what we're doing is essentially you'll level up in these achievements that these game developers have identified, by the way, themselves. We give them the power to say, okay, this achievement here is really cool. This, hitting 1,000 points is meaningful because they know the game themselves the best, right? And who am I to tell them what that really matters? And what happens is if it hits it, it triggers an API call and you'll get a reward. And sometimes you can level up and get a $5 gift certificate from Best Buy. Sometimes you can get a free download from Amazon. You could get a bag of pop chips. You can get a burger from Carl's Jr., right? We wanted to create a way for a certain demographic, depending on the game that you're playing. So we're able to target by demographics based on the games that you're playing. So an audience that's playing a game called Puppy World versus Alaskan Wild Hunter is going to be very different, right? So we have that ability to understand those differences and to be able to share and reward appropriately from the brands that really matter to those audiences.
Well, I think that's fascinating, and I can't wait to see how you are going to change the way we consume advertising and the way we do games. But what is your vision for gamification, or I guess gamification for advertising in general, online, on the internet? Do you think we will see more interactive advertising?
Yeah, so I think, again, the reward is the component of it that we focused on and we're going to continue to build our business on. I think that layer applied across the web, right? Browsing, watching, reading, these are all actions. Mm-hmm. If we can somehow create a reciprocal layer, we have something truly powerful. And this is all very incremental, right? This is something brand new. Nobody has ever taken activity and turned that into something that's worth rewarding. Really, at the end of the day, no company has done that. And so my vision across the board is Why does advertising have to be about that picture? It's so sad that billions of dollars have been spent in this industry to design all these mechanics around targeting and retargeting and cookie tracking and analytics and serving and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, it's all down to a picture.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think it's about the
so
picture.
True.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be just the picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be just the pixels on the screen. It should be about what you feel like you're getting in return.
Yeah.
And a brand should always be there when you're already doing something. And that reciprocity, I can't describe how powerful it will be when we're able to take a layer of rewards and apply that to pretty much anything on the internet.
Yeah,
and that's where we're going with it.
Man, so powerful. I want to learn so much more from you, but we don't have much more time. So where can people find you online?
So I'm on Twitter at Brian_Wong, that's BRIAN _WONG, and our company is called Kiip at Kiip.me, KIIP.me.
All right, thanks so much, Brian.
Thanks a lot, Popina.
In just 2 minutes, I've learned so much from you.
I try.
Doei. That's Dutch for Dewey.
Dewey?
For bye.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you're asking me to say, yeah, Dewey.
Yes. Awesome.